Can you guys process something with me? I had a huge realization this morning, and the more I think about it, the more everything makes sense with this, and I would love to hear your opinion on this. I believe that what makes or breaks relationships is the ability or inability to process guilt. Like, that's the core fundamental thing of what will keep a relationship together or what can break it. Like, there's other things, but I mean the core one. Okay, hear me out. Let's say I'm an adult child. I've had trauma, and my parents kind of caused some of that trauma. And as an adult, I go to therapy, and I'm like, I'm going to bring this up. I want a relationship with my parents. So I bring up to my parents, hey, this is what happened, and this is how I feel about it. Now, when you bring something up to someone and says, hey, you crossed my boundary or you hurt me, the immediate feeling that humans have is guilt. Like, it's the first, because we don't want to be bad people. So we immediately feel guilty. The way we process that guilt will determine what happens next. So I could think of 3 responses. If you tell your parent how you feel and they take it and they apologize, they make amends, like they sit with the discomfort of the guilt because it doesn't feel good. They made a show about it. Lucifer, going to hell is reliving the guilt over and over and over. And I feel like very similar to the human experience. Guilt is hell on earth. It doesn't feel good. So if you feel guilty about something, but then as a parent, you're processing it and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. How can I make amends? What can I do better? And you learn from it. But you also don't internalize that. And you could do the ancient Hawaiian prayer and forgive yourself. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. All of that. That's like a healthy way of processing guilt. You're going to create a really deep connection with your child. Your child's going to trust you to open up and talk about your feelings and emotions. Now, if you tell your parent, this is what happened and this is how I feel about it, and your parent's like, oh my God, I'm the worst parent ever. And all of a sudden they're shaming themselves. All the attention, everything is on them. Now you don't know how to process their guilt. They go so deep into it that now it's like not even about what you're talking about anymore. It's about them and how they feel. So that is completely invalidating someone else's experience. It's now all about them. And that doesn't feel good. So that's too much into the guilt. Then you have other people who completely bypass guilt, do not want to feel it. And I believe that's the most common one, is they don't know how to feel guilt. So when you bring something up and you're like, hey, mom and dad, you did this and this is how I felt. And they're like, well, that's in the past. Or why are you bringing this up? Do you know what I went through during that time? Or that never happened. Like, they will do anything possible to not feel that. And when parents do that, they create a huge disconnect with their children. But this doesn't just apply with parents and children. I realize in the last year that I've encountered these scenarios even in friendships, that I, at the beginning of the year, hurt somebody's feelings. They brought it up to me. It was not my intention. I was like in the moment and I said something that was uncalled for. And my friend brought it up later and she's like, listen, that hurt me. I realized that the way I processed it was because I did all the healing and then the self-reflection work. I processed it, okay, I'm not perfect. I'm going to mess up. I'm not holier than thou. I'm human. So I'm going to give myself some grace. But also, her feelings matter. So I'm going to validate them. So immediately, that's what I did. I sat with the discomfort of making her feel bad, because that's the last thing I want to do. I apologized. I made amends. And in my life, there has been, in the last year or so, I've had more friends and like a bigger group. So when you have a lot more friends, you encounter more different types of personalities. Again, all imperfect, all of us. We're just humans trying to live this life. And sometimes people cross each other's boundaries. And I've had approached people and been like, hey, this is what happened and this is how I feel about it. And I've had people approach me like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. Oh my God, that wasn't my intention. I'm so sorry. Owning it and releasing it. And they forgive themselves. They don't internalize it. Then I've had one person completely self-deprecate, shame themselves. And I found myself trying to like comfort her. And it wasn't even about what happened anymore. It was about the pain that I caused her expressing that. And I went, oh, that was too deep. And now it's like, oh my God, I'm the worst ever. Oh my. And then it became this whole healing about how awful she was. And then I was like, no, it's not that bad. You know, like it was on that end. But then I also encountered the opposite, which to me is pretty scary. Those people do scare me. The ones who bypass guilt. The ones who don't want to feel it and don't want to sit. The reason they scare me is because I've been attacked by those, not physically attacked, but whether in person, they will go after me. They come after my personality. They will go try to catch all my flaws and throw it in my face. And they will gather people together. Like same thing in families. You see that if a person doesn't want to take accountability for things, they will gather people together, herds of people to try to alienate you because they cannot sit with the guilt that they have caused, the pain that they have caused. Instead, they're going to make you out to be the bad guy. And I've also encountered that. And I realized that if we can process guilt in such a healthy way where we can learn to sit with the guilt, which is so hard. It's hard to, because there's different levels of guilt, right? There's like deep guilt if you hurt somebody and caused a big thing, or if you just hurt someone's feelings a little bit, how people respond. I find it is really the root of, in my relationships, people who I've created deeper bonds with versus people who have completely are out of my life. It's the way that they responded when I brought up stuff. And the same with me. I am guilty of this. Speaking of guilt, that in my past, I remember in my early 20s, I was like suppressing the shadow, the whole thing. Like I did not want to deal with anything. So if somebody I already felt like a bad person. So if somebody said, you did this, oh, cut off. I immediately cut you off. Like I could not face my guilt. And that's why I keep thinking about it today. I was like, I remember not being able to face my own self. So I couldn't sit with other people. I already think I'm a bad person. Don't you dare bring up that I'm a bad person. But they wouldn't. They wouldn't. They would just express how they felt. And I would internalize it. Do you know what I mean? And just to make it clear, there's a very big difference between somebody approaching you and saying, you hurt me. This is what happened and this is how I feel about it, versus this is what happened and you're the worst person ever. Because that's also how you process guilt. There are some people, I've also encountered those, who will try to make me feel like I'm the worst person. And if I don't shame myself, they'll get mad at me. They're like, you better bow down to me because you did the worst thing ever. And then sometimes I look back at the scenario and it's not even that bad. It was a little disagreement, but they want me to feel like they want to shame me. So I do feel that guilt is the root of that feeling. Do you know what I mean? Which guilt is like fear. It's correlated. But what do you guys think? Oh, and you know what else I thought of? Although it doesn't seem related, it is related. You know how some people really put celebrities on a pedestal and then those celebrities like turn out to be a little bit kind of jerks? Not the abusive Diddy ones. I'm talking about just the celebrities that are not perfect. The ones who put them on a pedestal feel guilty for doing that and contributing to their wealth, that they're trying to take them down. That's how I feel. Like they cannot deal with the guilt within themselves of bringing that person up and admiring that person, that they want to see them down, instead of just saying, okay, I don't like them. I'm just going to not watch them anymore. And that's the healthy guilt. Again, I feel like, I'm sure you guys can come up with new scenarios. I feel like everything is connected to that, to the fundamental feeling of that fear and guilt. And that's how we will create these relationships. And I do believe if you can sit with guilt, you can find inner peace even through the hard times, because you take it, you apologize, but you don't shame yourself. Do you know what I mean? Let me know how you feel about this. Okay, love you. Bye.